Thanks for joining us again on ISN. We're going to be having a small discussion about the boys basketball sectional draw and what's going on in their sport, and then we're going to go on into depth of the Lady Indians semi-state victory, and then on to their state championship game coming up soon. So the boys basketball, we're going to talk about. They played over the weekend. They lost to Union County, and the second quarter actually is where we lost. 0 field goals. We only hit 2 free throws, so 2 points in the second quarter, which just killed us. And then we played Northeastern yesterday, who was the top-ranked team in 2A. They were really, really good, kind of blew us out, which just helped us sharpen our skills for what's coming up. And we're going to talk about the sectional draw. We play the winner of Randolph Southern and Union, so we get the bye, which is literally the draw that we wanted, the exact draw that we were hoping for, which was pretty crazy. Rematch against Southern. How do you think all the seniors are feeling as they're trying to get a win against Southern as we got upset in the season and earlier in the season?
The seniors got to be feeling pretty confident here because even though they lost to Southern earlier in the season, this is a new team that we're playing with now, and they're playing a lot better. Every senior as a whole is scoring more points, playing better defense, so they have to be more confident going into this game that they're going to come out with a victory.
Yep. I really think that we have a realistic shot at winning the sectionals, but I also think it's just going to be depending on who comes out and shows up. It's not going to be a team that's heavily favored. I don't think there's any team that's truly heavily favored. It's going to be any one of them, I think. There's teams that we beat that got beat by teams that we lost to, so it's just upset after upset, or there'll be times where a team that shouldn't blow a team out blows a team out. So it's going to be it's not one of the more, I could guess, say like the Monroe Central sectional, who has Monroe Central, LaPel, Shenandoah, and all those big name teams. It's kind of a bunch of small teams that it's going to be exciting to watch the smaller teams go ahead.
And I think that all the teams just they don't have the greatest records. I think the best record being 10-11 or 12-11 or something like that. That's not very good, and that's the best in the sectional. So pretty evenly matched.
It's definitely going to show who's going to come out. It's definitely going to show who's going to be the winner of the sectional. Whoever comes out and plays the best, and whoever shows up that day and who's mentally prepared, basically is going to be able to show it. So who do you think? What do you think the Indians need to do to be ready come next Friday?
At this point in the season, again, it's not improving on your game. It's fine-tuning it and preparing it for the games coming up. So the Indians need to really stay focused in this next week of practice leading up to their game, and make sure that they all really believe that they can win. I mean, not just one player or a couple players or the starters. The entire team and coaching staff needs to truly believe that this team can win.
Mm-hmm. Which a lot of us on the team, I think most of us do, so it's going to be fun to watch us play. And that's going to be it for the short section of the boys basketball. We're going to be right back after this short break with Lady Indians semi-state victory and their chance to win a state championship. Stay tuned.
Country Barons Dog Grooming is owned and operated by Jessica Holt, a certified dog groomer. Jessica is like no other dog groomer. When it's their appointment time, they are groomed from start to finish. No dryer cages. She hand dries all her dogs. She is currently accepting small and large breeds. She is located on 2060 West Division Street, Union City, Indiana. Be sure to like her page on Facebook at Country Barons Dog Grooming. To schedule an appointment, you can contact her at 765-729-4046, or you can also message her on Facebook.
Didier Hardware is a family-owned hardware store that has been in Union City since 2005. They are a top store for any hardware or paint needs in a small-town setting. Didier Hardware has thousands of new merchandise available to be sold. The employees are specially trained to help out the customers in any way they can. If you want to come into Didier and check it out, they are open Monday through Saturday 8 to 7 and Sunday noon to 5. Come check out the store and experience the hometown hospitality in Union City.
Bowser's Barn is a family and locally owned restaurant. They have been providing great service since 1963. They offer a variety of foods such as roasted chicken, pizza, tacos, and seafood. They also offer services such as catering, delivery, dine-in, and carry-out. Bowser's Barn is open from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. every day of the week. There are always new specials, and also every month there are new coupons, so don't miss out. Bowser's Barn, 1300 Chestnut Street, You can contact them at 765-964-6255.
Welcome back to ISN. We're going to be talking about the girls' semi-state victory first. We played Marquette Catholic, the favorite team to win state actually at the time, but not anymore since we beat them. We had control over the game until the end of regulation, so it was pretty. We jumped out to an early lead. How essential was that early lead, Dawson?
The early lead there played out to be the whole reason that we were able to come out with a victory there. We started out playing fast and with a lot of energy, and people were hitting shots. Kelsey Zimmer's hit, I know, a big three. Justice Cantu was hitting some shots, like she continued to do the whole game. And that lead was able enough to bank on for the rest of the game because, as if I can recall correctly, Marquette beat us in every other quarter, I think, after that. But the margin was so big in the in the first quarter that by the end of regulation, Marquette was able to just keep it at a tie.
I think at the end of one, it was 21-14, so we beat them 21-14 in the first. They beat us 17-14 in the second, and then in the third quarter they beat us 11-9. Then the fourth quarter they beat us 10-8, sent it into OT. First OT was 6-6. Second OT we won 11-6. So I mean, close the whole game basically, but I think that we had the tempo. Like we were controlling the tempo for most of the game. They just made a lot of last-second shots. What do you think? The halftime speech going into half, we were up about like 4, maybe 3 or 2, somewhere around that range. What do you think the mindset or the speech was about for the coaches?
I could see it being as them starting out with saying that, listen, we were 11-point underdogs by the Sagarin ratings in this game, and going in at the half, we were up by 4 points. Mm-hmm. I mean, that itself is an amazing accomplishment in proving people wrong. Mm-hmm. And if they had proved them wrong in the first half, why not finish the job and go ahead and prove everybody wrong? Because people at Union City were the only people that thought that Union City was going to win that game. And when you're at the halftime and you have a lead and you're playing well, you think, well, let's just finish it. And I could see that being the speech that Coach Black was kind of giving, that not so much as the parts of the game itself, but just kind of the mental part.
Big picture.
Yeah, you got to look at it like, we're playing good right now. Mm-hmm. We are better than this team. Let's beat them and go ahead and finish the job.
Kind of elaborate on what you said about people. The only people that thought we were going to win was Union City. I mean, it was a sea of blue. It was insane how many people were there. I truly believe that everyone out there thought that we were going to win. There was times where they took a 5-point lead or 7-point lead at one time, and I thought for sure we were going to come back and win because we were just playing unstoppable. Because at this level in the state championship, it's a game of runs. So there's going to be times where we play a team that they're going to take a 9-0 run, and it's just going to be how we respond to those runs, and we responded extremely well to all of the runs. Yeah. What do you think the coaches? We talked about the coaches' thoughts. We talked about the players' thoughts. What do you think the fans were thinking as they were sitting out there waiting for their team to come back and want to try to win this?
I know for me being in the stands, that was some of the biggest anxiety that I've ever had at a basketball game. It was really hard to watch as we went down by, I believe, like 4 or 5 points at one point, and that might have been late in the third, early in the fourth, or something like that. And that was pretty scary. But I still had confidence that our Indians would be able to battle back because we were playing fantastic defense, and Justice was hitting shots, and I was just really excited to see. To be able to feel that we were at an environment like that, because it was only the second time we've ever been at a semi-state game. And so from the fans' point of view, it was just as cool to be there as it was for any of the players or the coaches or anything.
Mm-hmm. So we were up 3 with about 17 seconds left, and they checked the ball in, and we were kind of pressuring them a little bit just to try to not give them an open shot. They drive. They kick it, and they throw a cross-court pass to a player that only had two points before the shot. With 6 seconds left, she heaves up a three-pointer to tie it, which is just a girl who not necessarily was the worst player out there, but not someone that you would expect to take a last-second buzzer-beating three to win it. And then we tried to go down there and score real quick, but no, never mind. That was first OT. This is regulation. They just shot a buzzer beater 3 to send it into OT. The second regulation, we'll talk about that here in a second. Or the first OT, we'll talk about that in a second. Sorry. So what do you think the thoughts were as everyone was waiting for the OT to start? Not just halftime, but now it's like a second kind of halftime, the OT.
I think at first it was a little bit of disappointment there with that Marquette Catholic player hitting that last second shot, because we thought that we had it. We thought we had him beat there at the end of regulation, but she was able to hit that shot, and it was kind of it made people a little bit anxious. But I also felt confident that they weren't going to be able to stay with us in the overtime.
For the first OT, Emma Nolan hit a layup to tie it, and she got fouled. And this girl's they were the two best players out there, the Nolan twins, and she hit a last-second layup to tie it. And then she went up for the free throw. I didn't even watch. I'm sure a lot of people were watching, but I just closed my eyes because I knew if their crowd went crazy, then we lost, because it's going to be hard to run down there and heave up a shot. If our crowd went crazy, then I know that we had a shot in second OT. And 85% free throw shooter misses the free throw, and Justice tries to dribble down and get a foul call. Didn't get it. So we move on to the second OT. So it's 58-58 going into the second OT.
A little bit there on the Nolan sisters. It was those two players, of their 62 or 64 points that they had 48 of those 2 points, or of their team's points, just those two players. So that shows the level of skill that those two sisters have.
The better sister, the number one, Nolan, she fouled out with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, so she missed a lot of the fourth quarter, missed the first OT and the second OT because she fouled out. And she still had like 25, 26 points, which is just insane.
That's huge for that was huge for the Indians when we were able to have her pick up her fifth foul, and it would just so happen that she did so right in front of our student section.
We actually have a replay coming up later in the show, and we'll talk about the whole sequence of plays that happened before that, leading up to it. You can see the student section just going crazy in the background. So everyone was just going insane.
Yeah.
Second OT. How do you think the players were feeling, not just mentally, but physically along with that? Because you got to be tired.
Yeah, at this point, you're playing almost a game and a half here. I mean, the players, they had to be anxious to get that win. Their bodies had to be exhausted, especially the players that play as hard as they do, like Cora and Ellie and Justice. They go out there and they're sprinting around the entire court for the entire game. And so for them, they had to be the exhaustion had to be playing in a factor into it.
I know Justice and I think maybe Courtney played all 40 minutes of the game, which wouldn't be insane amount of time. Justice she is spread everywhere. She's getting steals, drops almost 40 points, so she's everywhere, playing all over the place for 40 minutes straight. It's just insane. Shows the true heart and the true basketball player that she really is. And
honestly, I do believe that our team is probably one of the most well-conditioned there is. We have multiple players that run cross-country. We have multiple players that run on their own outside of practice. And then even during practice, I know have being there, that our girls run a lot. And so I feel that they're pretty well-conditioned, and players like Justice and Courtney are able to be out there for so many minutes for the game.
So how we won this game was we took a 2-point lead. Then they kind of had to start fouling us. So there was big free throws from Zimmers and Cantu, who hit them. And then big rebounds from Hartman, who had 11 on the night. Big block from Wise, who had 5 blocks on the night. So the final score was 69-64, which advanced them to the first team in Union City history to move on to the state finals championship, and the first, I think, girls team to ever move on to the state championship. So a lot of history being made. So it's going to be fun to see how that happens. Now we're going to take a step off from what actually happened in the game, like how they played, to look at the stats. Justice Cantu, I mean, crazy. The craziest basketball thing I've ever seen, not just on the girls' side, but boys too. 36 points, 9 rebounds, 8 steals, and 6 assists. That's literally playing all over the court. And to go along with that, 14 from 18 from the free throw line. So I mean,
she just had a career game. That's all it is she went out there and she performed, and for it to happen on the stage that it did at the semi-state level, that really shows the excellence of the type of player that she is.
Yeah, she got. I'm assuming she'll get Randolph County of the Week. They haven't announced that yet, but I would assume so. She got the Coaches Basketball Association.
I believe it's the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association Subway Player of the Week.
Yeah, so that's just a crazy achievement, one that most people don't get, never get. So it's crazy to see. She just made crazy shot after crazy shot. And we're going to take a quick look at a replay, the 2 replays of crazy shots. Here's the first one. There's about 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the clock, and it's 44-49. We're actually down 5 at this point, and this is the play that Jessica Cantu makes.
Not playing with their heads 100% here.
Yeah. Marquette threw the ball away there.
By Zimmers. And they're going to push.
Indians were able to get it up to Justice.
And she looks to attack. She doesn't
Could have been a foul call there, debatable on that one, but she bounced off the Marquette player and still was able to chuck it up and get it to find the hole.
The thing about that was I don't even think she was actually trying to get it to go in. I think she was just trying to get contact to get to the free throw line because she knows she's shooting 14 from 18 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, why not make it go in?
Yeah, and I mean, she did that multiple times where it really looked like she was just trying to draw a foul, and she was able to just hit the shot anyway and without the foul call.
And on this next replay of hers, I mean, I could put in 8 to 10 to probably upwards of 15 replays of where she just either made a crazy pass, crazy shot, or something like that. And this one is where she's going to go down the left side. She gets fouled, but they don't call it. She goes up with her left hand, and she kind of has to, as she's getting fouled, she has to grab the ball and finish and put spin on it to finish her with her right hand. We're going to take a look at that one real quick. So one of them missed the layup, and she gets her rebound right there, one of her rebounds. Kind of has to put spin on it.
She just contorts her body in the air there. It's an amazing athletic play right there.
Just insane. If she can do that every night, I mean, I'm surprised she hasn't got a call from a college school after that game, because if you can have a player with that amount of skill, with that spark plug of athleticism, gets the crowd into it, gets the fans into it, gets her teammates into it, because they were down 5, and she's still playing like they have a 10-point lead.
Yeah, and the thing about Justice is she was able to take care of things on the offensive end, so her teammates were able to work harder on the defensive end. And I think that's what really kind of helped the Indians there. They were able to play some solid, hard defense, and they would just create some turnovers, and Justice would go in transition and hit some of those crazy shots.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Wise had 10 points, so she that's a quiet night for her, which is 10 points, which is still double figures, so it's still really good. 5 blocks as well, so she stepped it up on defense since her offense. She didn't need to produce on offense since she had Justice there. She actually, but with those 10 points, she had 409 points on the season, which has now the record for single season scoring, which is a crazy accomplishment. She holds 1,000-point club and the highest score in Indian basketball history. So it's just another accomplishment for her as a player, which is she had a great career. No matter what happened Saturday, she had one of the best careers of all time. Zimmers had 9 points, hit some threes, hit some free throws, 4 steals. So like you said, Justice producing all that offense let them step up on defense. So Justice had 36 points, which allowed Wise to only have 10 points but 5 blocks. Zimmers only have 9 points but 4 steals. And we talked about how Justice was producing on the offensive side of things, but we have to think that she also had 8 steals as well. So she's producing on.
She played a complete game there, offensively, defensively, finding people to get the ball to create scoring opportunities for them and herself. She was just the complete player in that game.
And this next replay is what we were talking about earlier in the show, the sequence where Emma Nolan, or one of the Nolan twins, Sophia Nolan fouls out, which kind of is one of the big reasons we won, because she was one of the best basketball players I've seen as well. So this sequence is where Hartman kind of gets a good defensive play, and then we go down there and move the ball around, and she gets fouled. So we're going to take a look at that real quick. This is one of Hartman's blocks too. So they kick it over to Nolan.
Hartman with the block there.
Gets out on her.
Cantu with a nice athletic play right there.
Then Hartman with one of her rebounds tips it out to Kearns.
Sophia Nolan doesn't get it.
Kearns tries to
You can
pass
see
it there
the
to
student
Courtney.
section going.
Yeah, the student section just goes crazy as she fouled out about 2 or 3 feet right in front of him.
That's the worst place to foul out. And you can see her kind of upset. She's missing her teammates' hands. Here, her sister comes in, tries to give her a handshake. No. No
Just
handshake.
denies her. I mean, you have to think that she was probably pretty
Yeah.
upset with herself, and probably even upset with the officials. Found out in a big game like that.
One of the biggest games she'll ever play in. So it pretty crazy what happened right there. I'm sure in practice they talked about how they need to get them into foul trouble. I don't think anyone would imagine 3 of their players fouling out.
Yeah.
And I know we're biased Union City, but most of the fouls they called, if not 95% of them, were legitimate fouls on them. So
Yeah.
that-
And I feel like that game overall was pretty evenly officiated. There were a couple questionable calls for and against us, and I feel that there weren't too many calls that fans were too terribly upset with.
the bald ref that you've seen on the replays, the highlights, was actually, I'm pretty sure, rumored to be the number 1 ranked ref in the state of Indiana. So I'm sure he'll be at the state championships games. I don't know if he'll be reffing ours or the bigger games, the higher school games, but we'll see where he's at because he's probably going to be there. Next, we'll talk about Cora Kearns, a senior. She had 8 points. Emma Nolan comes down, the girl that fouled out, their big player, comes down, has a sweet, nice shot, just knocks one down. So that's kind of a dagger that we need to answer. And Kearns just comes back down and answers right back to her immediately with a girl guarding her. So it's just an insane play to have. So we're going to take a look at that too because she kind of answers a 3 right off the bat. To push us back up by 2. Girl closes out on her and everything. She still shoots it. Just,
And that's with Cora. Cora doesn't shoot very much, and she's not a huge offensive player for the ladies. But she definitely can knock down the 3 ball, and she can make some nice passes. And so she has those skills on offense, but she just doesn't always have to utilize those because there's so many other weapons that the ladies have.
So now we're going to move on away from the stats and talk about the team as a whole instead of just the personal stats. We're now 24-4 in the season. I'm pretty sure we broke the record for most wins in a season. Farthest team in school history, first team in Randolph County, first girls team in Randolph County to go to state. So we got record-breaking players. We have Coach Fields was saying we have 11 to 12 record breakers on the team.
Yeah.
And then we break teams as records we break records as teams all the time as well. So pretty crazy. The game starts at 10:30 in the morning, so it's kind of an earlier game because they have to get in the 2A, 3A, and 4A games that day. It's at Bankers Life, the Pacers arena, where they play. So it's going to be pretty crazy. I know you went down there to practice with them because you're part of the scout team and you kind of helped the girls out. How do you think they did as a whole? Because I know it's going to be hard. As you see bleachers on bleachers stacked up, it's going to be hard to shoot around that when you're just regular to shoot with a wall behind the hoop.
Yeah, it's definitely different. First, going in there and shooting, you have to kind of adjust to the depth and things that you're seeing behind the hoop. But the girls, they adjusted quickly after shooting for a while. That's what they did a lot of, just shooting and trying to get used to playing on that court. But by the end of the practice, they were playing on it just pretty much like they would have on any other floor. And they seem to be pretty well prepared for this game.
So they're preparing for the game, as we were talking about. They're going to be playing Wood Memorial. They're the Trojans. I think they're 28-1 on the season now. I think they're ahead of us in the rankings, right? They're predicted to beat us.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
But obviously we don't care who's predicted to beat us. So it's going to be fun to see us go out there. We're probably going to give them their second loss, so it's going to be fun to watch them lose. They're a scrappy team that likes to rebound. They're a good defensive team, and they also are very fast, as you were telling me earlier before the show. So what do you think they are bringing to the table as a team?
They've played a little bit of the teams that they've played on their journey to the state championship game. They've played a lot of good teams, but not great teams. And they were able to, with their stout defense that they have, they were able to shut teams down offensively, create turnovers, and then utilize their speed to get in transition and score points that way. And this team also, they drive a lot. They like to get to the hoop and get layups. And I think that honestly kind of plays into our favor because with the two big girls of Courtney and Bailey, that's perfect for them getting a lot of blocks and with some help side defense there. And just in the past, throughout the entire season, teams haven't really been able to be that successful driving against us. As we saw in the semi-state game, really the only reason that Marquette Catholic was able to stay with us was because they were able to shoot from outside well. And that's how teams have gone all year. If they were able to shoot from outside well, then they were able to keep up with us. And this team doesn't really have an outside game. They like to drive, and that I think that'll end up playing in our favor.
And we also have size advantage along with outside shooting. So it's going to be if Kelsey, Cora, Ellie, and Justice are hitting threes, that draws their players out onto the three-point line, which gives our big girls that have the size advantage over them the chance to make a post move. So it's going to be, if everything works well, how I think and how we kind of have the same thoughts on what we need to do to win. If that all works out, then I think we can come away with a 10, 15-point victory in the state championship.
Yeah, that would be huge, honestly. Not only to win the state championship game, but to win it by a greater margin than just a couple points. That would really be proving everyone wrong, more than just winning it would.
And even if we were to come out with a loss Saturday, I think getting there was a victory in itself. Getting to semi-state was just an accomplishment by itself. So I'm sure the girls are going to be upset at first. I'm sure they're going to be down in the dumps for a day or two. But they're going to realize eventually that they accomplished something that hasn't been done ever in Union City and hasn't been done on the girls' side ever in Randolph County. And there's just, if you haven't seen it, there's a news thing out. We don't have the video clip of it, but you can look it up. And there's the news station did a whole segment over it, which is pretty awesome because they'll be able to show that to their kids and their grandkids and show that they, if they stick around here, that they were the team that held up the banner and for the state runner-up or hopefully the state championship that's going to be hanging in the gym here pretty soon.
Yeah, with the girls, it's just amazing to see what they've done and how they've come together throughout this whole season, and to see the support that they've gotten from the entire community is pretty eye-opening because it really helps you realize how special what they're accomplishing is. It's not very often that you have literally an entire community supporting your team. I mean, you can drive through the town and see signs everywhere that saying "Good luck to the Lady Indians in state. Good luck, bring home the victory" or something. And everybody in Union City is going to be at that game on Saturday.
Yeah, it's the town.
There's going to be no one here in Union City. And extended from Union City, I know plenty of people that will be going from surrounding areas or even people that are coming in from multiple states away just to see these Indians playing this game.
I know my girlfriend plays for Monroe Central, who they're not necessarily rivals, but they're both good teams, so they compete with each other. And she is in the student section with me, and she sometimes yells louder and more than I do. So I know there's fans from every school in the county, and Randolph County is going to be there. It's going to be crazy. These towels, everyone, if you come to the pep session, they're going to be handing them out before too, I think. Everyone's going to be able to wave those during it. So it's going to be an insane atmosphere for everyone there.
Yeah, I have heard that there's lots of people from Monroe Central that will be attending the game. I know that people from Winchester will be attending the game. I've heard rumors of people from Randolph Southern and maybe even Union going. And then I know for a fact that some people from Missinawa are going. So, I mean, everybody around is supporting these ladies, and it's really a special thing to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for joining us. I know that was a long episode about girls basketball, but thanks for joining us. You need to get to the game. Starts at 10:30 on Saturday morning at Bankers Life. If the girls deserve your support, but if you're not going to be able to make it, you can tune in the live stream where we have a radio broadcast for you. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time.